Well, it was a good win for us in an opener. It was a long game. Got a little sloppy there at the end, but it was a really good opportunity for us in an opener to play a lot of kids. And I think you go through a camp and you know, all that these kids go through in the summer and camp, to get them a chance to play in that first one is important. So there was just about everybody. You know, we didn't. Most of them were redshirt. We played one freshman, Antonio Banks, but the rest of them that were eligible to play, we got in there, and a lot of them got quality snaps. So we'll learn from that. I thought offensively we were pretty sharp early. I think Ben played like we expected Ben. Obviously, we're missing a weapon like Doss, but I thought the other guys were solid. It was good to see Darius, you know, run. The defense, really, for the most part, they played pretty well. They gave up some big plays, 2 big plays. That quarterback is a good athlete. He really, that guy he's tough when you're on the field to get a hold of. And, you know, we didn't know who was going to be their quarterback. We didn't know what to prepare for. He was a transfer, so, you know, we're kind of learning on the run. So the 4th down run where we missed some tackles, that wasn't very good. And then the touchdown pass wasn't very good, but I have to give them credit on that. So you know, it was a solid win. I really like the idea. We got 16 days till we play the next game, and I've tried to turn that into a positive from the time we knew what the schedule was, because we'll come in tomorrow, we'll watch the tape, and a lot of young kids will get a chance to watch themselves as well. We'll give them the weekend off, and then we can really get back to work and try to correct things we need to before we start preparing for Western. The other thing I do want to mention, I thought the student turnout was phenomenal. For a Thursday night, on our sideline looking up at them, it was cool. And they were all the way at the top, and they were into it. And, you know, in a game that got out of hand early, and they stayed with it, so I appreciate that. And I think there's even bigger things to come, you know, once we get back here at home. Well, it's a while now, but at the end of September. Questions?
Let's talk about Ted Bolzer.
You know, he's a really good player, and I don't know who I've talked to, you know, about it over the last couple of weeks, but I've been asked a lot who may be a surprise player, and I felt Ted had shown that. He gives you a threat that we haven't had in terms of being 255 pounds and being able to get down the middle of the field the way he can. He'll catch it. He's got good toughness, and he's just learning how to play the position. He was a wide receiver when we recruited him, and a little bit like a lot of these kids we've recruited, that we saw something in him that we felt was would be good. He's probably developed a little sooner than we thought, but he's got a good future if he keeps going.
Bill, as a coach, are you excited about the fact that your non-conference schedule is going to be upgraded pretty significantly here in the next couple of years?
Well, you know, I know this. I certainly don't want to apologize for the schedule we're playing now, because the Big Ten is, once you get in it, it's tough. And every win is so important in Division I-A college football now, because the goal of everybody is to play postseason. And the determining factor are wins. And so you know, we needed this one, and we're playing a schedule similar to what others. We're going into a tough situation at Western Kentucky, because I've done that before, where you're the first BCS team to go into a community, and so we're going to get their best shot. And then you know, we got Akron at home, so we got to take care of business, because the Big Ten is really tough. Beyond that, and what's going to happen next year, I know it's going to get tougher, but you know, right now I'm trying to figure out why we couldn't tackle that quarterback. So, but I do think you know, we got to take care of business. We got to get the wins, because once we get in the Big Ten, we know how tough it is.
What are your thoughts on the play of Matt Ernest?
You know, I think I reacted on the phones to the defensive guys when he was taking off down the sideline. I said that's why we moved him there, because he's that kind of athlete, and he would have played a lot wide receiver tonight if Tannen, I mean, you know, if he was still on offense. But normally with Tannen in there, you know, would limit his reps. Where on defense, he has great ability, and he's got good ball skills, and that was a huge play for us.
You mentioned those 2 big plays. You haven't seen them on film yet, obviously, but from where you were standing, what kind
The
of
4th and 2.
Yeah, that one, also the touchdown.
Well, 4th and 2, I couldn't tell from mine. We had a guy there miss a tackle, and then he cut back, and then we lost leverage in the secondary. I think we had some other kids playing in the secondary. It was their first time playing on that particular drive, and when you lose leverage on a fast guy, then he cut back and nobody was there, and then I think Evans did a good job running down, trying to get him to the 3. So that's something, we can correct that. The touchdown pass, we were in man coverage with a free safety, and the guy covering us playing outside leverage, trying to funnel him to the safety in the middle, and he beat us both, and he was down the field. He's a pretty good player, and the quarterback threw it in there, so we'll get those corrected. Those aren't things where I'm going, holy cow, we don't have answers for that. That was a play and two plays in an opener where I give them credit, and we'll have to get that corrected.
Bill, I know you don't want to get ahead of yourself. When you look for an opening game, you see 4 people, you have 3 turnovers, you score 20 points on.
Yeah.
You have a block punt that you score a touchdown.
Right.
Is that pretty much the perfect script for you guys for an opener?
Well, the biggest thing, the opener, I'll turn it the other way. We didn't have many penalties. We didn't turn the ball over, and we didn't have any breakdowns in the kicking game. And I think when you go into an opening game, you're concerned about yourself, and you want to make sure that you're sound and don't make those mistakes. And we were very good there. We had a couple substitution mistakes late when we were playing a lot of kids, and that's part of, trying to get kids in, and they didn't communicate maybe who they were going in for. So I'm not too worried about those. But early on, I thought we were sound in what we were doing, other than giving up the big plays on defense. In terms of if you can create turnovers with your defense, obviously that's what you're trying to do. We want to create turnovers, and we want to limit big plays. We created turnovers, but we gave up 2 big plays. So there's a little balance to that.
Coach, Willis had over 100 yards tonight. Talk about what you like from him tonight.
Well, that's Darius. When he's out there healthy and playing, he makes a difference because he can break tackles, he can make people miss, and he can run away from you. So that's Darius, and that's why we think he's a great back. We know we got to keep him healthy and keep him going because we are a different offense when he's in there.
Coach, you start off the Big Ten season with 2 quarterbacks that can run. How does it help you from a teaching standpoint to have to play against a kid like today who can get out there and do some things with speed?
Well, it'll be important for us, and I haven't watched it yet, but in a couple of it early on, we didn't know what to expect. So what we were doing defensively really wasn't maybe set up for what they were doing, and then by halftime, then we played a little bit softer and kept them in front of us. But we'll learn from it. They didn't really run the Michigan spread stuff that's very, very tough to defend. So that'll be a different challenge altogether.
Coach,
Yes.
from Evansville, if you could kind of talk about Max Dedvin's development
Uh-huh.
as a junior now.
He's an important part of our football team, not only offensively but in special teams. And he, in our different personnel groups, he has a role in just about all of them. And so we expect him to be an important part of the offense as we go through the year.
I noticed he was kind of lined up into different spots.
Yes.
Maybe doing a little blocking more this year, or?
Well, he's going to play a little bit more this year. I think that's probably the biggest thing because we had a good tight end in Troy Wagner a year ago, so it limited some of his reps. But he'll do a lot, and I think we'll be able to play 2 tight ends quite a bit now, especially since we got Teddy Bolzer coming on that gives us another threat as well.
How important was